in close fashion before. They are one of the best at coming back and one of the best at bind.
Yeah, you know, looking back at the history, you think about the semifinals of Challengers Playoffs Stage 2, May 1st last year, and it was these two teams against each other.
Oh, damn.
Jeez, Fnatic picking up the pace on this. They're already out on the B site. sheydos in there with 2, and all right, Redgar's gone swinging out wide, maybe scared of some utility coming his way. Instead, he has gone down for nothing. We're into a 3 versus 3 as Fnatic reset and look to push into the late stage of this round. Just real quick, what I was going to say, Fnatic, you know, they played up against the old, what was Gambit at the time, the Masters 3 champions we have here, with a very similar roster. And, you know, this was the comp they were running at the time. That game decided who went to Iceland, and we're in the same boat here.
Let's see. They've tried to bait the rotation, Mitch. It hasn't worked. They basically ran all the way back. They pulled off 1, but sheydos is still waiting. Already gets himself a 3rd, a 4th kill in this round, and looks to try and ace it in the pistol. It's left on to Mystic. He might just want to try and deny getting that ace for sheydos, but he won't be able to. What a start for this man. He is
costly as possible, but on a map like Bind, it's not too often you see these classic rounds on the attack work out in favor of that attacking side.
You can see already Defo. He's wanting to try and farm up as many kills as humanly possible. Spike already dropped to the floor, and he's got a nade to try and catch out Mystic in that corner, who will just about survive. Of course, for Fnatic, the main thing in this round is making things costly. Like, Mech have not gone for the same level of rifles. Obviously, Bind has much more when it comes to those close-range battles. Like, we even see a Judge as a regular weapon on this map, so 1 player loss, still going to keep them.
Delay them and let him be healed back up. And in a round like this, maybe that stopped them from losing an extra rifle. Maybe it stopped them from losing those 2 players in bath, giving weapons over and things snowballing. It's those tiny little decisions that are just, they're smart calls, right? I really appreciate seeing them in a round like that, because you just don't want to give your opponents of classics. They have very low chances of getting anything done. Why would you help them, you know? And too many teams do.
Chronicle looking to get a little bit spicy in the early stages of the round again. Going to see this wall trying to almost force them into that close range battle. sheydos still managing to survive around it, and well, MAGNUM's hoping he can try and get an elevated angle, but at least for now that's not going to be the case as Fnatic grind to a halt.
Pumping the brakes. You don't want to run into those weaker weapons and crossfires and really head first into a meat grinder in a lot of these rounds if you do blitz in. But with Fnatic having no control elsewhere, you know, at this point, there could easily have been a push coming up through a mid. They've got to go forward eventually, and it's through this choke point. Again, it's sheydos to stop them. He'll only get the 1, and the trades come in quickly. Fnatic at least getting towards that site. They pulled it into a 3v2, but they really don't want to lose any more weapons at this point. They are up against such a weak buy from M3C. And with MAGNUM quite low on HP, I was getting worried with that frenzy coming around the corner. Although at this stage, they should really expect another player to be towards the spawn. They'll safely get a plant, and this round should be recovered.
10 seconds left.
And Redgar's waited, at least still have his flash online, but well, he's basically just going to have to run through utility to try and get anything done. However, for Nats, there's an opportunity to at least do some damage. You can see MAGNUM already falling back into a slightly more passive position, and with a remaining couple of players out towards long, like a victory here for Nats seems impossible. And you can even see they've got contact and then a swing. Like, for him to isolate both of these jewels is nigh on impossible, and Boaster's going to be ready and waiting. Fnatic are on the board, and
Sage on B. It's very difficult to take aggressive control. And what did we notice in the last round? Fnatic ended up stuck outside B long with no control on A. No idea if these guys had pushed up. They had to just run into the site. This time, playing a default is sort of what I had hoped to see out of this early round from Fnatic, because this avoids those problems, right? They can still try to bait out some of that util early, like the wall that's being used in towards bathroom, and they're not left essentially stalling with 1 piece of map control, like 4 players on long waiting behind a wall for the blitz to come out. I like this, but the problem is Mech haven't gone aggressive, and they haven't given them any opportunities for that default to pick a player off. They're not even playing inside hookah.
No, they went for some initial long control, maybe fighting for the orb there, maybe expecting the same thing I did with at least trying to gain something from this. And they're also using that same deep screen in towards the showers to almost just shield any information of if anyone's gone in that direction. The problem now, though, for Fnatic is that time is starting to tick, and they haven't managed to really garner much map control. Sure, they've got Hookah, but there are 3 players currently waiting for them on B if they're going to head in on this direction.
Yeah, at least they're not running into the Viper or the Sage this time. The slowing ability definitely a lot lower on this side of the map, but there's more players here for Mech. That dash on his sight, Derke went undetected even still. They had no idea this guy was here. Oh, an enigma that completely opens up the round. Now they've got the plant for sure, even with that low time. And the blitz strategy finally needs some success. sheydos. Oh, this is dangerous. Rez, but no wall. He's going to bait it. Use it, that body to fight out in the open, and it won't get them anything. The punishment there immediately. Fnatic now know where sheydos is, and they've got the 2v1. The plant, not ideal. This isn't really something that you can stop if sheydos goes for the defuse, but he's unlikely to stick it, right? At least that's what Fnatic are hoping. They better up the pace. He's already got it halfway. Here comes the swing, but the shots are not there to match. 2-2 we go. And the
Stimmy was there with them.
Well, he's going to use it on mid, I think, with the Spectre that he's running, so gives him a decent fight. Those pistols, though, are not going to be able to crunch in quite the way they hope. Maybe they are. Oh, you're in trouble, Boaster. Trailblazer, I mean, if you have a player behind you, maybe, but
I guess he didn't expect that many people.
I think he could hear them, though, running around. That was a big misread. Either way.
Oh, Chronicle left alone. Again, he's got all his utility, but most of that's just going to be saved for the next round. Of course, any kills he can get, I guess, reinvest that for him. Drone just flying above, just having an aerial view of the scenario. Just spotting out the scenery, and Derke, well, put a bullet in his brain. Fnatic
to secure it cleanly, had things not have gone so messy at the start. It does give them a hell of a lot to work with here, as you're saying. Boaster's going to be spotting out a few right away on long. That's interesting, actually. You're going to have 100 Fury pop catching them as they fall back, and then the showstopper. I've even put in the orbital strike. Oh my god.
He's got Spike.
Well, that shouldn't have happened.
There's no way he wins this. Thank God. Completely surrounded. Yeah, I guess that's how...
On your way. Oh, okay, well, we'll hide under Hookah. No, there's a rocket coming for you. There was nowhere that was safe. My God. And you know, this is an interesting thing, because Fnatic, they trade their ult economy, which was massively in their favor. And only 3 ults, you know? 3 ults is a lot, but when you've still got a Viper's Pit and Seekers, that's kind of fine in resetting your ult economy.
And, yeah, you destroyed their buy as well. Yeah.
You just wrecked them, just taking all their money. Unbelievable.
Well, now we go back to those deadly pistol rounds, although thus far we've not had those same sort of heroes. I guess they've not really been given that much of an opportunity. I feel like Fnatic have been such a strong unit that even if there has been a slip-up or somebody being caught out, the trade's been almost instant. And you can see that they're taking these sort of rounds very seriously. You know, use the Seekers, spot out any of those aggressive positions. Nats has just been killed by Derke, and also with 3 players getting an assist, so I feel like he's just been absolutely owned. And the remaining players looking to try and come in on the flank. Maybe they can catch MAGNUM. He's got too many angles to watch, but still going to get away with it. And then Mystic's there to help.
Yeah, nicely done. And they'll get away with it flawlessly in the end. A few ultimates would start to come online as well. I mean, these guys are set up for their attack side. Mech need to make a stop. I mean, here and now. There's no more room for error.
Yeah, they're just trying to spam as much utility. You can just see the instant change of pace for Fnatic. Defo trying to find something with his showstopper, gets absolutely nothing for it. A spam, though, will at least catch out Derke, but there's already the Viper's Pit down for Fnatic.
Oh, orbital strike, gonna catch MAGNUM going back. They'll spray as well, and nothing connects on him. Just a bullet or two, a scratch, but it's enough for him to stay around and get back into that Viper's Pit. Still no plan to be secured, but they know that the pit itself is safe. I'm watching for the crossover on it.
Yeah, their main worry right now is that any player peeking out from lamps could do some serious damage to them crossing over to the side. So just trying their best to make sure that there's at least a little bit of comfort there. They've also got to be careful just from spams. Like, where are you actually going to plant this spike? You can't really go for default just in case, but actually, I was about to say, no one was spamming. I was like, hey, are you just going to let him get it for free? But no, they're just waiting for the right moment.
30 seconds
It does feel
left.
like a big missed opportunity there by Mech when they use the Seekers and they start to hunt down those players. You've got a Viper able to get out of the sight. The orbital strike doesn't catch them, but no one runs up to take the space afterwards either. You know, we have this constant spray going down, but lack of information for Mech leaves them with a pretty passive play on B. Good to at least get one, but
10 seconds
sheydos
left.
cannot commit any further towards this. If Boaster went down there, I think the round was over. I think jumping up on top was ludicrous, but yeah, it looks like it might be over anyways. 1v4 to win out, and well, that's just going to be too much to ask from the IGL. At least a round on the board for Mech, and they've done it flawlessly as well. Going to help out their economy problems.
Yeah, I think this round almost came down to just Fnatic overplaying it a little bit. Like, they were tapping the spike, almost just trying to bait that rotation, like hoping that somebody would come through.
Yeah, nicely handled. Mech get the round on the board. Still plenty more to go for them, and they're going to double down on this one with a Viper's Pit used early into Bathroom. Going to give them control of that extremity of the map. And it means I don't typically expect to see them fighting for B long when they've done that, but not only have they walled it off, they're playing on top of it with an operator. That's huge control for Mech. I mean, obviously they're leaving open the likes of Hookah, but in fact, Fnatic are not going towards it. They're running again towards this A site.
Yeah, both extremities are currently locked. They've done exactly the same thing with the Viper's Pit, so this has to be an almost direct brawl coming out, which is something that most of the time Mech are going to be quite happy with. Redgar is actually just going to go running into the smoke, already manages to find one. What is with these right-click classic kills currently coming out for Fnatic? It will be the trade back for Nats, and Mystic again puts it into a 2v2.
At least the one kill for him, and they'll try to get a little bit more. Close in on that site, get the plant. Nothing that Mech can do to deny it.
Spike planted.
The recon is not going to spot Chronicle out, and he even gets away with the kill. Mystic calling down the orbital strike on himself, essentially. But he won't catch the player. Chronicle has still made it out, and now they'll group up and try to at least take him down together, trade out. It's all they need to do. The smokes are in play. This is really tough. They know where he is after that spray, too. Waiting for him to emerge from that smoke. The diffuse is already through. Fully done and locked in for Mech. It is 5-4.
Fnatic again trying to just blitz their way through mid, and it came down to some scrappy fights, which, okay, for the attacking side, it's not the worst case in the world. Now, though, they will go back to fighting some of the other spots on the map, and actually, again, Mech have a very good read on this scenario. Look how deep sheydos is on the other side. He's currently peeking so far forward.
Oh no, Defo! Oh, he's in so much trouble. That could have been huge. Fnatic have gotten out of there smelling of roses. 3v3 to play with. Sight clear, and they're on it with the spike as we speak. Even getting the info on the elbow players too up close. I mean, this is perfect for Fnatic. They've got a decision now. You know, where do they want to take the post plant to? In fact, they're playing all three angles really spread out, and that might catch sheydos off guard. No, he's watching it. But this guy actually scopes in and checks it. Brave has got to be so pissed.
And now someone needs to try and make a play. Boaster's going to be the one to do it, and it's left all onto MAGNUM. Oh, it's a little bit awkward. I think not knowing where to look, where to turn at that stage. And again, Mech just controlled in a lot of their retake scenarios. I do respect the fact that both players just like watch Derke go through, and it's like, nope, Derke's the distraction. Of teams like Liquid, like FPX, are incredibly high, and they're going to be throwing everything they can to knock out whoever it is that falls down.
Hey, you put everything you've got on the table here and now, and then that... Oh, this is a fast play. I saw MAGNUM was on top of the boxes, and I thought surely I wasn't reading that correctly, but no, they are looking to get aggressive, looking to push on up, and they better. sheydos has already taken the opening pick. Oh, this is nasty. They're not quite going to be able to follow up on the kills. They're isolated now in this position with the operator staring at the cross, going out for a little bit more, and sheydos just doesn't miss. He has been flawless in this round, shot after shot, leaving them with nothing to play with on the Fnatic side. I mean, these guys, I said they were backed into a corner. Their economy was really being pushed to the limit coming into this round. And Mech have made it look easy, even when Fnatic have everything to work with.
Yeah, I saw a lot of the Ascend players sort of like baiting on Twitter. I didn't realize that CNED had just decided to play on sheydos' account today, because it seems like he's just gone into that Sage operator role like it was something he had in his back pocket the whole time, and it just decided not to tell
30
anyone. Like, oh yeah,
left.
don't worry guys, I can actually play the op incredibly well. And they're like, ah, yeah, and then he does it, and it's just so impactful. Like, that has been one of the major changes, and it's also just the level of risk they can take elsewhere. Like, think of the positions that he's been playing in. Like, he's been locking down bathrooms, he's been locking down B long, he's been even holding at the back of the site on B and just making sure they can't quick rotate. Like, this allows the rest of the players to take risks because they know a certain portion of the map is completely isolated by sheydos, and well, I would say at this point they're probably trying their best to avoid him because he's been
Seems like sheydos is ticking all the boxes for Meg, and now they're guaranteed a 6-6 half. Let's fight for that 7 though on this defensive side. Defo loses a lot of health getting that orb, but Tom, it might be worthwhile because he's now got the showstopper online. Not only that, but sheydos, unsurprisingly, still has res. It's been on for quite a bit. And so Mac have a bunch of early round potential.
I think that's the only critique you can give of sheydos, is he is never in a position to use his res because he's playing some of the most audacious angles you're ever going to see a Sage play. Like, he's currently, this again, solo holding in towards the showers, but it's something that Fnatic have cleared. They're looking for this information, but he's still just sat on top of the wall, and why not? He's going for more aggressive angles at this point because he's been winning every single battle. Now, information, I think, has just been garnered as well by Redgar. Using his Tiger, I think he at least spotted somebody on the other side. And so Fnatic's surprise, or what they may think is a surprise, really isn't as strong as it is. Look at the 3 players currently waiting for them on B.
That's the thing. And we've seen it a couple of times when you run into this stack on the B site. Meg are more than capable of dealing with this. Defo has been deleted though. Here's the showstopper connecting on Redgar. Defo, or Derke, excuse me, will eventually go down, but come on, Chronicle doesn't get much more than that. 2 kills. Is it enough though? Well, we'll see what sheydos can do. That res still online. Good kill. And he'll look to get a teammate back up here maybe.
Look at the time.
10
It's only 10
seconds.
seconds. They have to try and push him. Flash into the corner. sheydos lands the shot again. And now it's left into the 1 versus 1. He still has that res. But at this point, it has to be the kill. They need to go for the push. And sheydos is going to clutch it out. This man is an unbelievable. He's the best member of the team. We all laughed because his teammates are Chronicle and Nats. But you know what? He's showing it today.
That's funny. Like, they'll say Redgar, we'll say Chronicle, and that's I'm always with Defo since day 1 of Gambit. Still waiting for the day this man reaches his simple form. Honestly, it's gonna happen. But yeah, you can literally make an argument for everyone on this team being the being the MVP, being the one to beat. There's a reason that they are the M3Cs. 1 minute on the clock as the attackers look to move to the A site. Spike is there. They're going to be grouped up. And what are they running into? You got Derke still with a bit of utility to play with. I guess it's his surprise factor if Brave is able to distract a couple of them coming out of bath. No, he's going to just step forward. MAGNUM wants to try to catch a few of them off, and there's at least Chronicle and a bit of damage followed up on. This isn't terrible. And the shock dart now becomes so much more dangerous. It's close. It's got damage, but no kill.
Oh. So close to getting something. The thing is, this is where Mech play their best work. Holding on in these sort of afterplant scenarios, it can be so difficult. Already a tap onto the spike. sheydos is going to go through it. And still again, just battling and brawling, hiding in that back corner. Another comes up for Nats, and he's just going to wipe him clean. It's left all onto Brave, hoping to try and get something, and it's not quite enough. Damages Nats to...
He's peeking the smoke. He sees a flash, goes back in, peeks out after, takes a few shots onto the enemy, fades back into the smoke. These guys are like trying to kill the player on their left. They get shot from the right. They turn to look at the guy on the right. He's back in the smoke. Guy on the left shooting them again. They turn to him, get shot from the right because that guy, guess what? He's ran back through the smoke. It's like it was just constant bait and switches coming out. And with the pistols, it worked perfectly. Fnatic that crushed in that round. And now, well, they're playing a round where MAGNUM's got a shorty. I think that should tell you everything you need to know. This should be convincing. 9-5.
Yeah. One of the things I also just want to note while we have this almost breather, I feel like on this map in particular, if Lamp's control goes the way of Mech, they normally win the round. Like, they're just so good at playing from that position, especially Nats. Like, we call him a rat for a reason. I feel like this is one of the maps where he's always done it best with his lurks through there and also managing to just play further into the site. Now, right now, the read currently in from Fnatic is incredible. The problem that I have is the amount of space that Redgar has taken. Like, he has pretty much all the information, so they could probably just go back through the TP. Instead, they're going to go facing into the site, and that's already a rifle up here.
Pretty huge start. Mystic. Oh, he doesn't really want to be re-peeking that now. In a round like this, sometimes you take those risks, sure, but the way things have panned out, they're going to wait around, be more patient. In fact, Fnatic's going to rotate without even picking up some of those weapons. Not wanting to run down mid and give the kill away, but looks like the same thing might happen here. Ooh, Redgar really taking some risks, wanting to set sheydos up inside of the tunnel, side of elbow. They're going back out themselves. Great flash, but nothing to come from. Nicely closed out in the end.
He's so much extremities alone, so there was no chance, and he didn't need it. So
yeah.
I guess that's the other factor.
You see that priority as well when Mech go to plans. I think a lot of the time that spike is going to sheydos on this attack because it's something they're very much focused around. I think he only has 4 orbs from combat this half because he was 15-5, right? Now he's 18-6. So he's got 1 death, he's got his 3 kills, and the rest is just from getting orbs and getting plants. What you want to see?
Building in towards this A site take. Again, you've got the sort of progression coming out from Derke and MAGNUM. He knows that the plan on the other side is likely to just go for this Sage wall, get an after plan. So he's trying to at least reduce the opportunity of them being able to do that. And sheydos is going to take some damage on his way out, but he'll survive.
Yeah, you know, the interesting thing, sheydos is not only healing himself, but he's getting the heal from Redgar a lot of the time. Remember, Sage's heal gets interrupted if she takes damage, whereas Redgar can just keep on healing him even as he's in that snake bite, and that's what we saw there. As he's running out of the snake bite, he was consistently at 70 HP, being kept alive by Redgar. They're going to tap this here. Molly's coming over, but they've got it halfway. That's great for Fnatic. They can be comfortable taking their foot off the pedal a little bit here. Derke, well, he's never comfortable doing that. It starts to become a problem now. They know it's halfway. Mech are going to rush out to try and stop this, but they can't get there in time. Fnatic have just...
But still, you know that those ultimates are building up on both sides. You know that Mech are much closer to that victory, and they knew as well they could have just saved those extra guns, but doing the damage onto Fnatic's economy is so much more valuable because a round loss here and they're in trouble.
The Trailblazer waits a moment, spots out that long is clear. Mystic! Oh god, he's got one already, but he'll be dealt with at least. Not sticking around quite long enough. That'll buy them the control they were after on this Mech side. With the res still to play with, there you go. Defo's going to be brought back into the round, and now Mech look to blitz on through. The kill already going their way to open this up. They're waiting for Brave to be pushed out by the nade. Nobody can come and help them through the TP. That's just a beautiful execute by Mech. Every fight a 1vx, and now Magnum's got to clutch it all by himself.
Yeah, no real chance from there. And
into the cast of this guy. Most valuable statistic out there, of course. It's not a hint of sarcasm can be detected here. 10-6, 4 rounds between them. Fnatic on the defense, pulling out their judge play yet again. This time, you know, I actually like where they've put it. Considering how many rounds Mech have been playing for this control over Lamps, Tom, you said it yourself, that if Mech get control of Lamps, you're losing the round 9 times out of 10. And they've used their wall to exclusively walk into there a couple of times. So having a judge there right now, it's not terrible. It might end up getting some late round impact if he stays in position.
I will say I have seen very recently the Nats going in, killing the guy who had the judge, picking up their judge and using it to kill their teammates. So it's a double-edged sword. If you go down with that gun, he will use it to kill you. So
yeah, judge in the Viper's Pit gets really
They also
scary.
just got Seekers because they're on the other side. They went and got the orb over on B long after the initial bout. So Boaster now has Seekers. There's a lot of ults currently online.
Yep, Boaster deep flash. They saw nobody outside B, make the gamble play into the A side, and Fnatic, well, they've got the numbers here.
30 seconds
Let's
left.
see what they can do with them. They've already lost a few players, and the judge just spotted. Look how quickly. It's like one shot, and that's like, nope.
Spike
Nope, I'm
planted.
going back the other way. Popping the snake bites down. Keep him at bay for now. There's just no need for Mech to feel the need to do anything. They can just sit in position and wait. Spike is down. The round should be
player
theirs.
standing.
Nicely done by sheydos.
Yeah, Mystic. Wow. He didn't even get a chance to breathe. It's a pixel for Chronicle. One of the most terrifying, if not the most terrifying team in the world. So Fnatic have a lot to do on this side. And it's going to start off with some of those ults being spammed, I'm sure.
Fnatic have yet again used that wall to defend the A side. Viper's pit down inside of that. I mean, this is a really strong setup. I mean, they look like they wanted to just wall off them playing towards lamps, but they've halted that. It looks like Fnatic also kind of have a good read. They saw the wall go down, they saw it go up, and then...
Mitch, you've turned into KO, so I'm going to have to cut you off. He's not even on this map this time. I don't know why you keep putting on the voice changer, but nonetheless, we are going to have ourselves still this 5v5 scenario. Almost seeing Redgar trying to fake things out in towards the A site as the rest of the team look to buddy up in onto B. Still going to be some counter utility. Defo hoping to try and find something here with the showstopper, but if anything, he's just forced them back, and that's fine. It may not be damage, but instead they managed to lock down half of this site. Counter ultimates being expended. It's an observer's nightmare of different pieces of utility being thrown out all at once, and the time still ticking as Boaster and Mystic combine within the smoke, and now it's left to Redgar. A 1 versus 4 scenario. Fnatic have used a lot to make sure that they guarantee this round for themselves, and there's even a flank coming through towards the end. No chance for Redgar to win this at this point. The Spike in a horrible position, and he's going to try and get some damage done. They have plenty when it comes to economy. A nice shot, at least, but it will be Boaster to close it. And
look into that a little bit more afterwards, but yeah, 11-7 as we move on up, move on out. We got to take a look at Fnatic. Sat down on the A site with 3 players. They better be ready because Meg are upping the pace. Already shifted in quickly towards the site. Seekers have been put out. They look to take a fight on top of the box. sheydos has landed it, and with Brave down, well, and the spike hasn't gone through just yet. There's Seekers coming from behind. Mech can easily take a rotate on this.
Yeah, you can see all the counter utility just being thrown out by Fnatic, because once Mech have got into these after plants, they just haven't stood a chance. They've used snake bites, they've used molotovs, paint shells, just everything they can to try and stop this plant going down. The difference though is there's still a minute left on the clock, and Derke's had to go forward. He's trying to fight into these players, and sheydos is going to shut him out before he can get anything done. Nice shots from MAGNUM, but it might not be enough.
Boaster super late flank, but they're watching for it. Redgar has been clearing this the whole time, but Boaster hits the shot, clears his back. Now he'll look forward some information, but oh, it's costly. The shot's connected for Meg beautifully. 12
things up onto a neon and making it work, but not necessarily in the manner we expected. Still though, can't count Fnatic out just yet, because there is Derke once again. An early start. It will be the res though, because sheydos has it like every 2 rounds or something at this point.
Yeah, I feel like it's an ability at this point more so than an ultimate. And dude has it, but never uses it, or never needs to, I guess, a lot of the time.
His ult is the slow. He's using those a lot more rarely.
Well, Mech are going to be making their way into the A side, but not quite getting the jump on Fnatic that they were hoping for. Another kill to the defender's side, and at this point, still with a wall to play with. sheydos can maybe get that plant down. Where are we going with this one? All the way through. Okay, yeah, eventually it's time to run away. That drone spotting them out. Blank coming through from the B side already. Now Fnatic got great control in this round.
Oh, Derke will go down. The thing is, they're whittling away at these remaining players just by all of that utility again being used for plant denial. Redgar, he's got a good timing. Oh, Oh, it's moments. He could have just waited a second, but he didn't know that there was a couple of players there, and eventually Mystic will be there to close things out. Fnatic survive, at least for now, and then a relatively clean one at that. They do well to fight in those early rounds. They stop the lurks coming through
Sorry to spoil the party.
and basically just win a lot of the...
Perfectly viable in those as well. But the lead isn't as comfortable as it might look. In this round here, though, at least most of mech won't be affected. Just a bulldog for sheydos to claim it. Boaster almost got the timing on them swinging out on mid, but instead we'll reset. Good information control as well, mech, right? The players on mid, like you've got the boombot going down there, then you've got the player destroying the trailblazer. Like this, even though Fnatic have pushed on B, they don't fully know that it's an A hit yet.
They've still rotated players in, though. They've already got Brave here. They've done a lot of damage to sheydos. Of course, he's just going to heal himself back up. But he's the player who's got that wall. And we've seen this so many times. This timing could be absolutely everything. Oh, it's not pretty, but then it's the Chronicle, who ramps back through as well. Now jumping into that TP. They have this site for free. Fnatic looked like they had such a solid read, but that split-second mid-round call from Redgar might have just ended the map.
God, just great space taking from him, sitting down outside. Like I said, keeping those players in position by just avoiding giving them the information that B is clear. It was such a small thing, but it led to Fnatic having 2 players on B long in the late round when the hit came in. So they try to rotate through quickly, running down B long, running down the fountain. And of course, Redgar is sat there. He's listening to that the whole time.